Okay, guys, it is 9:05 p.m. I know I was a little late in posting our reminder for this evening. I just assumed you guys had it on your schedule that we were meeting tonight at 9 o'clock. I believe also next Wednesday we are meeting at 9 instead of 8:30 because, again, you guys originally said that the time wasn't a big deal. Either one, 8:30 or 9 o'clock works better. So figured 9 o'clock would give me a little bit more time to figure out what's what. So I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about recruiting. Let me get my screen shared, and if anyone decides to join us, then we'll get to see. You're probably hearing my printer on in the background. So give me just a minute. Let me get this guy rolling where I can share the screen with you, and then we'll view this as a PowerPoint, as a slideshow. And that should work for us. Okay, so we are here at week 4 on our 6 weeks to success, and we're going to kind of go over what we've learned so far. So we're halfway there. Oh, except we're not living on a prayer. We're doing what needs to get done, but of course we'll always still take prayers. So here's a little recap of what we have learned so far in our 6 weeks to success program. So far, you've learned to, you've got to increase your product knowledge in order to maximize your sales and your bookings. You've learned that your belief decides what you believe you can and cannot do, and that your brain can be retrained. You've learned hopefully how to talk to people out and about and how to book parties at your shows, and some words to say for both of those. You've also hopefully learned that your passion shines through and can completely influence purchases and bookings at your parties. And you have learned that you have to host coach effectively to keep your sales high, get bookings at every party, and have a constant pool of leads that you can call on for shows and for future people to join your team and those kind of things. So far the skills, you've learned that skills will make a huge difference in every party. And when you know your products, you can sell your products. When you know what to say, you'll be able to respond to objectives and turn maybes into yeses and be able to tweak your, oh, that's because you guys are both watching something. So you have to tell Daddy, he has to call Daddy, tell him to get off so you can watch. Sorry, children interruptions. When you tweak your host coaching and you talk to your host, and remember that host coaching is where you earn your paycheck, you go to the party to pick it up, you're going to have much bigger parties when you're working with them. So this would be the part where you guys would ask questions. If you have any questions for me about host coaching, but since no one's there, I'm going to pretend you're all doing great. Just kidding. If you have a question, just call me or text me and we can walk through it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about recruiting, and recruiting always sounds like a bad R word, but actually it's just a conversation. So there's not one perfect thing you could say to get someone interested or not interested, or to say to someone, you know, hey, you've got to do this right now. Pretty much they're going to decide what works for them, but when you have a conversation, it makes it go a little bit smoother, and every person is going to be different. I've been with Pampered Chef for almost 6 years. I have signed up a lot of team members, and some signed up right at a party, and some it took probably 2 years before they said yes. So it's going to happen that way. It's just, but you want to keep the conversation open. So how do you know what to say? It's actually pretty easy. Pampered Chef gives us a great guideline for this with our recruiting flyer when you're talking to them on the phone, and we also have these really cool recruiting cards that you can either purchase on a supply order, they're like $1.75, or you can actually print them off of the computer and then have a digital copy that you can print anytime or have it to look at on your iPad when you're with your person. And then the key here is to just ask a question and then shut up and listen. You know, there's a saying that the first person to speak loses. So if you let them speak first, you're going to win. Okay, so this one is a little 7-questionnaire interview worksheet. And these are some really important questions. You know, do you have a question? Most important opening question, let me ask you, do you have a question on why you should become a consultant or just how to get started? Because honestly, they could say, nope, I just need to know how to get started. And then all you need to do is walk them through how to start or order their new consultant kit. If they have questions, that's where you're going to go into these little 7 questionnaires. And basically you can say, so tell me, what is it about Pampered Chef that interests you? And then wait for them to respond. What type of qualities do you have that you think would make you a good consultant or a great consultant? just like you're doing an interview, because you know what? You can say to them, let me do a real quick interview with you just to see if you're a good fit for Pampered Chef and to see if Pampered Chef could be a good fit for you, because then you're opening up that conversation. Next question would be, when you look at your calendar over the next 6 to 8 weeks, do you think you have 4 to 6 days or nights that you could leave your home for a few hours to have a Pampered Chef party? If no, is the issue just within the next 2 months, like during the summer is in this scenario, or if it's for us is March and April? Or how does June and July look? You know, those kind of things, to be able to give them in 2-month increments. On the days you have shows, do you have someone that can watch your kids? Most will say their husband, and then you can lead into, well, have you talked to your husband about this? And what does he feel? What does he think about you getting started with Pampered Chef? You know, and then you can talk about what it costs to get started. You know, it can range from $109 to $249 to start your Pampered Chef business. Is that something you think you can afford? Or is that something you feel you can afford? Some people might not have the money right now. A lot of times what happens if they tell me, you know what, I would love to sign up, but I just don't have the money right now. A lot of times what I will say to them is there someone in your life that could invest money in you so you can purchase your new consultant kit, and then you can turn around and do a party with them so that they can redeem their investment back in free products? Because then they can reach out to a mom, a sister, an aunt, someone who'd be willing to front them the money to be able to purchase a new consultant kit, and then they can do a practice show with them to get them some of that back. What type of training do you feel works best for you? They might not need any training. They might want to just do everything online. They might want to do calls and those kind of things. And then you want to recap those first 6 questions. And here's the example. So Pam, it's clear to me that Pampered Chef would be a great fit. You have many abilities that will help you build a successful business. You want to talk about a couple of them. You know, you're outgoing, you love to cook, whatever it is that she said, you want to say that back to her. And you clearly have a little bit of time you can work your business consistently. And plus you have a great support system from your family and the money to invest in your kit. So my last question is, when do you want your first paycheck? Or something like, so what do you think? Are you ready to get started? Because then right there you can walk them through all of that. And I'll post this video from Jennifer Courtney, she's amazing, where she has she's walking through this 7-question recruiting thing. We also have these interview cards. They're available under the supply order section on your show cart. You can also download the printable cards, and there's a script. I will post these on our team page as well. These are on pamperedchef.com. That way you guys can have access to them and kind of know how that script works. So if you don't know what to say, it gives you all of the words to say right there with the information online. I love that Pampered Chef gives us every single thing we need to be successful. Okay, don't freak out. It's just a conversation. And honestly, when you're talking to someone, and let's say, for instance, that you find a really great sale at Kohl's. That's my store of choice. I love it. And what do? You call your best friend and you say, oh my gosh, I just saw the best sale going on at Kohl's right now. You need to go. You need to get in on this sale. It's no different when you share your excitement about Pampered Chef. Oh my gosh, I just started this whole Pampered Chef thing. You would be great at this. You're doing the same thing. You're just having a conversation. So we're still working on skills. So in our 4 pillars of success, we've got belief, passion, skill, and will. So the skills are such a major component of your success. And when you tweak those skills and you learn more about selling and host coaching and booking and recruiting, the better your business is going to be, the bigger your team is going to get, and also the bigger your paycheck is going to get. So, you know, here's some things that you can practice, which is great because you can always work on getting better at your job. So practice recruiting your friend, because honestly, you just might recruit them. And that happened with my friend Louise. I was practicing all of my call scripts on her. And I said, okay, answer me all of these with a hard no. I can't change your mind on anything. Okay, now answer me with maybe you're thinking about it. And now answer me as a yes. And so I can know how to counteract what I'm working with you on. So that was, practice recruiting with them, practice your scripts, be personal about your business, what it's doing for you. Study the simple recruiting cards, watch and listen to Home Office. They have some great trainings on there, and my trainings as well. When you come to trainings and we learn more together, Coming to team training nights, that's always huge. Of course, going to conference, there's a ton of classes you can take there about building a team, about recruiting. There are still some tips from the top that you can listen to. They might not still be going live, but you can always do a search on Consultants Corner for tips from the top, and it'll have a recording you can listen to. Always, they say readers make leaders. Constantly be a reader. If you don't like to read, it's going to be very, very tough. But honestly, if you can read 10 pages a day in a book of your choosing that's going to help you better your business, those are some great things for you to do. And I have several. I'm going to go grab them off my bookcase real quick. Okay, these are some of my favorites that if you're looking for a very quick read, you want to go with the Energy Bus. This one is a very, very quick read. It's by John Gordon, and it talks about 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. That one is a super easy read. This one will kick you in the gut, but it's worth the read. It'll really make you take a hard look at what you're doing and how to take the stairs, meaning don't take the easy way. Put in the time and the work and do it right. This one's by Rory Vaden. He is one of my absolute favorite authors. He also writes this book, Procrastinate on Purpose. And this is talking about, there could be things that you can procrastinate on now that are going to give you a greater result later. So that one's a good one. And then, of course, this one is a great one, Be a Network Marketing Superstar. Basically, that's what we're doing is network marketing because we're selling a product. We're working on our own network with our business. Those are some great books. If you want to borrow one of those, let me know. I'll stick it in the mail to you, or if you're local, just let me know. I'll bring it to a training so you can get some reading in. And of course, watch YouTube trainings. Find Pampered Chef consultants that you want to be like and YouTube them. Some of my favorites are Sharon Zellen. You can go back and watch old videos from Jillian Grant. She was a top recruiter about 10 years ago with Pampered Chef, has a ton of videos. Michael Reeves has some great selling tips. Marna Ross. Any of these guys have some great YouTube trainings available and do lots of shows. You get better every single time you do a party. And honestly, try to make them where they're close. So I usually will encourage new consultants to do 3 parties in a row. So do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Friday and 2 Saturday, or a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, or something. So you're kind of in a row, and to do the same recipe at each of those shows, because by the 3rd show, you already know the recipe's going to be fine, and you're working more on the other skills for your business, how to talk about booking shows at your shows, how to talk to your guests and build those relationships. And skills are easily taught by just watching and emulating what you're doing. So this would be the part where I would ask you guys if you had any questions for me. I feel like I'm talking fast because this was definitely a lot longer when I practiced it earlier. Okay, so homework this week, and I will post this on our team page as well, is to listen to Top Recruiters Tell All. This was by Brenda Copy and Genevieve Black. They are amazing. This is one I would listen to in my car every single day on the way to and from a show. And then post your 5 takeaways for this, some word choices that you're learning or something that you can have as a takeaway. And I think Lanisha is the only one submitting her homework. So you guys need to get in on that and get your homework submitted so that I can see what you're learning and what your takeaways are, because then that's going to give us things we can talk about on a weekly basis. All right, of course, always try to post on our team page. How many shows are you committing to booking this week? How many host coaching calls are you making this week? Set up a time to talk to me. Call me and talk to me about your week, about your shows, about your struggles, about your successes. I want to celebrate with you, and I want to help kick you in the rear if you need it. How many leads did you get at your last show? How many bookings did you get? What were your sales like at your shows? What are you having trouble with, and what's something that you can brag about this week? So that is our training this week on recruiting. And of course, if you ever are in the area local and you want to observe one of my shows, I encourage you to come on and observe, because that's how you're going to get better. And if you're not local, I can connect you with someone who's local to you. So that way you can go and observe a show of someone who's a strong seller and a strong recruiter, because they might say something differently than you do, and that's going to kind of help you out there. So, so that's it for tonight's training. I will post the replay and tag all of you so that you can watch the video and hopefully post your takeaways, and I'll post the homework too. Hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you next week at 9 o'clock here on Zoom. Talk to you later.